Alright, hello, and welcome to this weather update. And it was a brutal, brutal day across the area today. Brutal in Nassau, and even more brutal in New Jersey. And I'm going to read to you this special public information statement that was issued by the National Weather Service New York office at Upton. I don't have one from Philadelphia. For some reason, only Upton issued one. But I will read to you from this office here. Warmest February day on record. Warmest February day on record. In addition to setting new daily record highs for February 21st, 3 of our 6 climate sites achieved their warmest February day on record. Central Park, New York. The high of 78 degrees today sets a new daily record high temperature, breaking the previous record of 68 degrees set in 1930. In addition, this sets a new record high temperature for the month of February, breaking the previous record of 75 last set on February 24th, 1985. This is also the warmest it has ever been this early in the year. Previously, earliest it reached at least 78 degrees in Central Park was on March 10th, 2016, when the temperature rose to 79 degrees. LaGuardia, New York. The high of 79 degrees today sets a new daily record high temperature, breaking the previous record of 68 degrees set in 1953. In addition, this sets a new record high temperature for the month of February, breaking the previous record of 74 set on February 15th, 1949. It is also the warmest it has ever been this early in the year. Previously, the earliest it reached at least 79 degrees at LaGuardia was on March 13th, 1990, when the temperature rose to 83 degrees. Newark, New Jersey. The high of 80 degrees today sets a new daily record high temperature, breaking the previous record of 69 degrees set in 1953. In addition, this sets a new record high temperature for the month of February, breaking the previous record of 76 degrees set on February 15th, 1949. This is also the warmest it has ever been this early in the year. Previously, the earliest it reached at least 80 degrees in Newark was on March 9th, 2016, when the temperature rose to 82 degrees. All records are considered preliminary until made official by the National Centers for Environmental Information, but it is clear that we've had a very disturbingly hot day today in February, and really speaks to the real serious, dire situation we are in with the climate. Yeah, it was actually hotter in New York than it was in Las Vegas. It was hotter in New York than it was in Phoenix. It was hotter in New York than it was in Texas, which shows how messed up the jet stream patterns have been due to climate change. Now, without further ado, we're going to look at some reports here that I have from various stations across the New York area. And we'll start with the worst. We'll start in New Jersey at Miller Air Park here. And you can see the conditions for most of the day. They just barely missed hitting 80 degrees. Might as well call it almost 80 degrees. It was 79 there. And what's also unusual about this warmth is the humidity. It was humid today. It felt like a summer's day. Absolutely crazy. So that's Miller Air Park. And we're going to now take a look at Farmingdale. And it was cooler at Farmingdale, 64 degrees for a high, and more bearable at Farmingdale. However, Nassau, you went further west into Nassau here, I'll tell you, it was definitely in the low 70s. It was pretty brutal out here in, we're going to try to find an observation from here in Mineola and see what it reached as well. We're going to now go and look at some of these reports here. So we already talked about Central Park and LaGuardia, but I want to see what Islip, I think Islip broke a record today too as well. Let's see if Islip broke a record today. Let's see. So 61 at Islip. Record value 63. So Islip did not break the record. There was a better sea breeze today in Suffolk County. So at least Islip did not break the record. And we already talked about the other sites in that public information statement. Yeah, we've been listening to this all day long. It's been absolutely terrible. Let's go look at the Philadelphia one, since the Philadelphia office never put up a special statement about the highs in that area. Let's take a look at Atlantic City International Airport. Let's see what Atlantic City hit. And yes, Atlantic City International Airport set a record today. of 76 degrees, beating the record of 74 that was set in 1930. So yeah, this is going to be a very record warmth. I think this is going to be a record hot February for all of us. Uh, let's see what else we've got. We've got another observation site. Let's try Trenton, New Jersey. Let's see what it hit in Trenton, New Jersey. 78 degrees. That was also a record. Beat the 70 degree record set in 1930. Way above normal. Way above normal. And so this is what we're doing with the heat in our area is absolutely insane. Fortunately, it is coming to an end. As you can see here on the radar, there are some showers and a cold front moving through our area. So I want to go and look at some observations from some other some local weather stations on Long Island, because the airports don't really reflect everything, and so we're going to go to one to ground and we're going to take a look and see what some of the observations were there. Okay, so we are looking at the temperatures across our area currently, and you can see it's warmer in the city. It's still, I mean, there's still air. Look at this. There's still areas around Tom's River that is still around 70, so it's not even cooling off. It's staying warm there, even though the sun has been down now for a few hours. As we head into Suffolk County, you can see it's mostly 50s because you get that sea breeze coming in, keeping it cool. But we do have this cold front that's right over here, and you can see north and west of the city is cooling off quite substantially. Those temperatures pop up, you can see. And that's the air we're going to be having tomorrow. We're going to be having a lot of rain. We're going to be having rain. It's going to be gloomy, but at least it will be back to more normal temperatures for February. The weather today was more typical of late May, and not late February. So I'm going to just take a look at some of these observations. I'm curious about Central Nassau and the Mineola area. Let's see. Here's a Mineola. So let's see what the high was. We're going to check out the station here in Mineola and see what the high temperature was in Mineola today. Let's see, because it sure felt like it was in the 70s here. We'll just find the high. Weather history, here we go. Oh yeah, according to that weather station, it hit 77 degrees. Don't know if it was quite that warm. It might be a little warmer than reading a little warmer, but that's still ridiculous. Ridiculously hot for February. Ridiculously hot. Let's see if we can find another one. Because sometimes these are not official stations, saying that they're not, they don't go through the rigorous checks that like the sites that you see on the weather service, but we can still use them to get an idea of how hot it was. So this one, I think that's the same one, 77.5. I thought I clicked a different one there. I thought I clicked one that was further up. Let's see. Let's try this one. Alright, New Hyde Park. Let's see what New Hyde Park, 77.7. So yeah, it actually did wind up getting into the mid-70s, I guess, in this area, according to at least these weather stations. That's the thing about Central Nassau. We don't really get the sea breeze here as well. Well, I'll just check. Let's just go a little further. Let's go to East Hills. Let's see what East Hills has. See what the North Shore got up to today. Do apologize. This computer is acting screwed up, so I may not be able to. For some reason this page is not loading. I may not be able to load all these weather information for you. This one is not loading. Let's try this one. Let's try New York NYIT Old Westbury. 61, so 61, let's see what it hit there, 77. So yeah, it seems to be a consensus that the Nassau County, many parts of Nassau County got into the mid 70s, unfortunately. And let me tell you, that's probably why I was dying today. It was pretty bad out there here. It was pretty brutal. Really did need the air conditioner. But let's go to this. Let's go a little more toward the South Shore now. Let's go and let's look at Wantor. That's not Wantor. That's North Wantor. Yeah, that's another Wantor. We'll use this Wantor one. Let's see what Wantor hit today. Yeah, 66.9. So a lot cooler once you head toward the South Shore. So it's bad enough they get the best train service. They also get the sea breeze, and we don't. So, yeah. I'm sure as we head even further south and east toward Massapequa, it will probably be even cooler there. Let's see what we got. Massapequa Park, let's see. Yeah, it only hit 55 there. So you could see that there was a really tight difference in the temperature, depending on where you lived on Long Island. If you were on the South Shore, what heat? Well, the rest of us up here were baking. Oh, yeah, there's some interesting variations. I would like to see what Salisbury hit. Now, when I used to live in Westbury, this was the station I used, so let's see what they had there. Yeah, they hit 74.8. So again, the further north you were, the more into the 70s you were, but the more toward the South Shore you were, you lucked out. And I think a lot of it had to do with cloud cover, and we're going to explain to you that when I look at the satellite. So we're looking at a high-resolution satellite image from the MODIS satellite, MODIS Worldview. And this was today. I guess this was taken around noon. And you could see the fog, the low clouds, stratus clouds, that were over much of Suffolk County and maybe even the South Shore of Nassau a little bit. And that's what kept the temperatures down there. But over here, the sun came out, and we were just stuck in the heat. So this is what we were dealing with. Let's see if I can find another image here. This one's even a little clearer to show you what's going on. So, well, they had the cool temperatures in the fog. These are the areas here that were in the sun that heated up. And it was the fog was around in the morning and then moved away very quickly here in central Nassau. And, of course, Jersey didn't see any of that. So, yeah, it was a very brutal day. So I'm going to draw for you on a map just to explain to you how the heat worked today, why it was so hot where it was, and we'll take a little look at the long range. I don't really want to get too much into it today, but I'll look at it a little bit. All right, you will have to contend with my drawing, so bear with me, but I'm going to try to explain to you what was going on. So when we take a look at the wind, the hot wind that was blowing today. We had a west-southwesterly wind like this, all right? So all the hot air pretty much coming off New Jersey, all right, like so, all right? And on Long Island, we generally get a moderation from that, all right? But because of the west-southwest flow, that hot air from Jersey was blowing over central Nassau, right where I live, right where, so this whole area here of Long Island, pretty much from like this end, like this, was in the 70s, all right, mid 70s, all right. But that same west wind was blowing over the cooler ocean waters, and so the cooler ocean waters helped cool the air down along the South Shore and in Suffolk County, all right. So those areas, and with a little help from the fog, kept temperatures 55 to 60. All right, so 55 to 60, and then certain areas, like I said, further out east where the fog never really broke, were only in the low 50s. All right, so that is why you have the difference where it was. All right, and of course the worst of the heat was in Jersey, where very little of the effects from the ocean, get, there's no effect from the ocean. Maybe along the immediate shoreline, but mostly in this big area right here, especially the Pine Barrens, it got near 80 degrees. So, again, sorry about the crappy handwriting. But That's the best I can do with this. But you could see, explain to you why the heat was where it was, and why certain places got lucky. Unfortunately, we didn't because of the way the wind was blowing. We baked in that west-southwesterly flow. It didn't help us, but it helped the people along the Babylon branch. Got a nice, cool sea breeze today. But they did have some problems tonight. I'm not going to really get into that too much in this video, but there was switch trouble in Jamaica. They wound up canceling most of the flyers tonight, so that was good, at least. But this was, definitely depending on where you lived, you were either baking or you weren't baking at all, and that's one difficult thing. It's another thing. It's nice living along the South Shore, further out in Suffolk. You get the cooling sea breeze, whereas it doesn't really penetrate Nassau as much. However, it was still at least, I would say, a good 6-7 degrees cooler here than it was in Jersey with the heat. So Jersey was really the center of all that heat that was coming through today. So now let's look at the long range and see if we're going to get back to normal weather. And we're actually going to start with the Euro today. So it was Wednesday. You could see that big ridge that brought us the heat. And remember, this is something that the Euro picked up on last week, and I knew we were going to bake, and sure enough, we did. And you could see here by looking at the isobars that west-southwesterly flow, which caused a lot of areas to bake, even on Long Island. All right, like I said, on Long Island, you pretty much had to be, on the South Shore or east to Suffolk County. All right, so it begins to break down into tomorrow. We have cooler air trying to build in from the north, but we have a stalled front because we got this ridge here, so we're going to get a lot of rainstorms riding across. But I want to look at this view first, and you can see some colder air trying to build in here as we go into next week. You can see, looks like toward Tuesday we get into more seasonable weather, and we see a shift here, a real dramatic shift on the Euro too as we get into the first weekend of March. Real deep trough in the east and a lot of cold air. So this actually is good. I'm going to actually go into the thermodynamics and see if we can 850 temperature anomaly. That's a pretty big low. So maybe, just maybe, we can get some really cold weather back in the picture to make up for the hell that was the past 48 hours. All right, let's take a look at the GFS. All right, and I'm going to get up to here, and we will look at the GFS, and we will go to this. All right, because I don't want to spend too much time on the models. I don't want to make this video too long. This is just to update you on the craziness of the weather that's been occurring. So, yeah, that high breaking down, and here comes the rain for tomorrow. All right, so we have the stall front that we're going to be playing with for tomorrow, Friday, probably into Saturday. You get a parade of rainstorms here, and then the last one comes through on Sunday, hopefully, and it's out of here. And then we have, looks like some nice weather Tuesday, hopefully nice weather, and you can see there's that trough. There is the trough. There is the blocking developing, and you can see here that we are going to be getting into blocking. That could be a snow event, and you can see that there's like a big storm that's developing offshore, but it stays offshore for now. But we're definitely looking, it's definitely looking like more. You can see how the storm track is definitely further south of us. That's indicating blocking. That's indicating a flow from Canada. So we go into March. It's going to get colder. It's going to get better, hopefully. It really looks more and more likely that we will go below normal, at least for the beginning of March. And when it comes to temperatures, thank God, because we have been dying in the heat. And anyway, I'm just going to give you some final thoughts on this hot weather before I wrap up this. Okay, so we wrap up this video here, and yes, we had clear skies today. Actually, these are some pines. Actually, I was buying East Meadow today. Actually, there's some pine barrens in East Meadow. I've talked about this before. This is around the East Meadow, town of Hempstead, East Meadow, Water Tower area. But anyway, some final thoughts here on today's crazy weather. The news. I literally put the news on. They showed Mr. Blowhard's face, and I had to just turn it off. I am so sick of seeing the president's face. I'm so sick of hearing his voice. I'm so sick of the coverage the media is giving him. And he's thriving on this stuff. All right? Meanwhile, they're ignoring a major story in our area, and this is this record warmth, and it's not just a record for the day, it's a record for the month. This is the warmest it's ever been in recorded history this early in the year. That should be the top story on the news, but it's not. And this isn't just referring to News 12. I put on Channel 2, the CBS in the city too. Same thing. All right. I do not care what this Blowhard says. All right. And he wants to drill for more oil. He wants to say, "Oh, we got to do more clean coal." He can take his fossil fuel philosophy and shove it up his ass. All right. We are destroying this planet. What more proof do you need? Today was proof of that. People need to wake the hell up and see what's going on. All right? You need to wake the hell up and see that we are in a dire climate emergency. We are destroying the environment. We need to put an end to the use of fossil fuels as soon as humanly possible. That's as simple as that. All right? We need to do something to stop global warming before it's too late. And I fear it may already be too late. But we need to do something soon. All right? And today was the real wake-up call. And as far as the mass media goes, CBS, NBC, ABC, News 12, all of you, you all stink. All right? You all stink. You do not represent us. You need to stop talking about this blowhard president who's an attention baby. You're just giving him what he wants. All right? I cannot wait for the day that Mr. Trump is arrested along with Jared Kushner and his administration is impeached and removed from office. They are destroying this country, and this is coming from somebody who voted for him. He has lied about everything. And when he says, believe me, he loves to say that. Oh, we've gotten them out. We're getting the illegals out. We're getting the gangs out. Well, let me tell you something. I saw my relative today. We actually drove through Westbury, and there are fresh gang tags right on Post Avenue. So don't tell me that, Mr. Trump. I didn't, don't tell me that. You're a freaking liar. You're a liar. You're a con artist, and you need to step down. You have done enough damage to this country. All right, rant off. I just can't stand the guy. I cannot stand him. I don't want to see his face anymore. Anyway, that's it. Take care. And please, folks, the weather today was not normal. We should all be alarmed about what happened today. All right? And we should be doing something to stop this change of our climate, because we are going to not only make a lot of other species extinct, we will make ourselves extinct as well. All right? Think about this. All this climate change is killing the corals. Imagine the day when you may only be able to see corals in an aquarium. That day may come sooner than you think. We're undergoing a rapid climate change, all right? I don't know what more proof you need. The proof is literally right outside your door. You need to wake the hell up and see what's going on. And stop driving these huge damn SUVs. These things should be off the road now. All right? Anyway, I've already gotten started too much about this, This is coming from a conservative, all right? We need to conserve our environment, all right? So it shouldn't matter, what party you're in. We are all in this together. There's no other planet we can live on. We fuck this place up, we're done. That's all. Take care.